HOA Karen's sisters threatened to tow my helicopter, so I landed it on the police chief's lawn. What would you do if your neighbors tried to tow your private helicopter, claiming it was unauthorized machinery, then called the cops without realizing the police chief had requested the flight? That's exactly what happened to me. And it only took one perfect landing to blow their entire fake HOA scheme straight out of the sky. My name's Nate Morales. I'm a former Coast Guard pilot, now running aerial logistics and emergency response in Central California. I own a Robinson R66 chopper, nothing flashy, just reliable, fast, and legal. And yes, I sometimes landed in my house on a cleared and registered helipad on the corner of my 8-acre property. It's not a toy. It's a tool. I don't joyride over neighborhoods. I don't skim rooftops. But I do fly to support volunteer fire command, medevac training, and occasionally when the weather's rough deliver vital supplies to isolated ranches. All of this is cleared with the local FAA office. The police know me. The fire crews know me. Heck, even the mayor's borrowed my bird once. But none of that mattered to the Karen sisters. Their real names are Charlene and Deborah Reynolds. They moved in across the field last year after their 5th failed attempt at flipping short-term rental properties. They showed up in a beige SUV, wore matching sun hats the size of dinner tables, and immediately started acting like they ran the entire county. The kicker? Their street isn't even part of my development. But they created something called the Lakeside Stewardship Committee, which was basically just them, a logo they printed on Vistaprint, and a rustic clipboard. They called it an HOA, it wasn't. I first met them when Charlene showed up at my fence, holding a 3-page packet titled Community Ordinance Updates. On the last page was a hand-drawn map with a red X over my helipad. "Excuse me, sir," she said, squinting at me like I was a suspicious bush, "but we've determined your aircraft operations pose a hazard to property values and migratory birds." "I have FAA clearance," I replied calm. "And that helipad's been registered since 2018. "Well," Deborah cut in, marching up beside her sister, "we're enacting HOA Article 12 to begin the formal removal process of your equipment." "You mean my helicopter?" "Yes. Tow begins next week. You've been served." She slapped a fake violation on my gate like it meant something. Black and white printout, signed D. Reynolds, interim president. It looked like a bad grocery coupon. I laughed. That probably made it worse. Next day, I caught them photographing my hangar. The day after that, they walked the perimeter measuring my fence posts for wildlife compatibility. Then they filed a noise complaint to the sheriff's department, claiming I was conducting air shows at dawn. All lies. But then they called a tow company. No joke. I pulled up to my own property and saw a flatbed trailer parked out front, the driver arguing with a confused county clerk over speakerphone. The Karen stood by with folded arms and a thermos marked HOA Business Only. "Sir, are you the pilot?" the driver asked. "Yeah." These ladies told me they had a legal order to remove a grounded aircraft, said it was violating city codes. You do realize this is a private helicopter with FAA protection, right? That moving it without authorization is a federal crime. The driver's face drained. He turned to them. "You said this was a car." "We said it was an aerial nuisance," Charlene barked. The guy peeled out of there so fast he knocked over one of their lawn chairs. At that point, I'd had enough. Because I'd already filed a report. I'd already sent in drone footage showing them trespassing on my land to take measurements. I'd even called my contact at the sheriff's office. But this next part? This was personal. I got a call that evening from Chief Rourke, the local police chief, and a longtime friend. "Hey, Nate," he said, chuckling. "Heard you've been targeted by the Clipboard twins." "Yep. Well, I got something for you. We've got a community safety expo this weekend. Want to do a little demo landing. I thought you'd never ask. And so I made a plan." Saturday rolled in with blue skies and the kind of crisp wind pilots dream of. I lifted off from my registered helipad at 10:58 a.m. sharp, called to my flight path, and headed 2 miles southeast toward the sprawling green lawn behind Chief Rourke's house, the official staging area for the Community Safety Expo. The event had drawn a decent crowd. Sheriff's deputies, first responders, EMTs, volunteers, even a local scout troop. And right at the edge of the lawn, behind a line of caution tape, were Charlene and Deborah Reynolds. They weren't invited, but they came anyway, clipboards in hand, sunglasses on, sipping iced coffee like they were royalty, waiting for a scandal to erupt. As I approached in the chopper, I saw them pointing up. I circled once, lined up, and landed gently on the designated spot next to the police tent, dust barely lifting. Kids clapped. Parents filmed. One of the firemen gave me a thumbs up. Chief Rourke walked over with a huge grin and a microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said to the crowd, "this is former Coast Guard pilot Nate Morales, and that's his private helicopter, legally registered, FAA cleared, and invited to land here." Charlene's mouth dropped open, so wide I could see her half-chewed bagel. Deborah tried to shout something, but the mic caught her too late. I climbed out, shook the chief's hand, and waved to the crowd. "Glad to be here, Chief. Hope I didn't interfere with any unauthorized towing." Everyone laughed except the Karens. They stormed toward the barrier. "This is a violation of neighborhood airspace." Chief Rourke held up a hand. "Ma'am, there's no such thing. This is public event airspace, approved by the city and FAA. And this man, he's not under your HOA jurisdiction because your HOA doesn't legally exist." Twist number one. The city had launched an investigation into the so-called Lakeside Stewardship Committee after 3 other neighbors filed complaints about fraudulent fees and fake bylaws. They found no legal filings, no charter, no insurance, and a bank account set up under Charlene's name. Over $11,000 in unaccounted membership dues. Twist number 2. That same morning, Charlene was served with a cease and desist from the county court and an official fraud complaint filed by a group of neighbors who'd been threatened with fines for things like incorrect wind chime tones and illegal hammock angles. Deborah tried to snatch the papers from the sheriff's deputy. She ended up getting cited for disorderly conduct on the spot. Charlene burst into tears when she realized the news cameras were rolling. Local station Channel 9 caught the entire meltdown, including the moment she screamed, "He's ruining our neighborhood with his aviation agenda." 2 hours later, the footage went viral. The HOA was formally dissolved the next week. The court ordered Charlene to repay every penny she'd collected plus interest. Her attempt to appeal was laughed out of the hearing when she presented her bylaws printed from a Pinterest template. Deborah moved out 6 weeks later. Charlene tried to stay, but the new neighborhood association, run by actual legal homeowners, voted to ban her from leadership permanently. The clipboard she once brandished like a sword, it's now hanging on the wall of the community center next to a photo of my chopper and a sign that says, "Know the law before you try to enforce it." And as for me, Chief Rourke asked if I do a landing every year at the Safety Expo. I agreed and brought Justice Flight, a nonprofit I co-founded to offer demo rides for kids from local shelters and veteran families. Last month, I got a thank you card from a 6th grader who wrote, "I want to be like you when I grow up, but maybe with a quieter helicopter." I framed it next to my landing license. So I'll leave you with this. If someone threatens to tow your helicopter with no authority, no paperwork, and a plastic badge, is it wrong to show them what real authority looks like from 500 feet above? True or false, sometimes justice needs rotors to really land. The end.